Sairam students, welcome once again. In this session of English literature, we are going to start Beehive chapter 2, The Sound of Music. We'll start with part 2, The Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Let me give you a quick introduction of this lesson. The lesson is about Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was a renowned Shehnai player in India. He is a legend because he did something which has historical significance. He played the Shehnai on the day India got independence, that is 15th August 1947, at the Red Fort before the Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, before that, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai in order to signify something auspicious for the whole country, because India was about to get freedom. And so, on that occasion, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai, and hence he is a legend. Now, let me tell you about the title. The title, The Sound of Music, and the subtitle, The Shehnai of Bismillah Khan, are very appropriate, as they are in accordance with the contents of the feature which celebrates the melodious music produced by Bismillah Khan's Shehnai. So let's get started with this chapter, The Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. So here, this chapter. Now, it starts with the introduction of pungi, which was a musical instrument. It was the predecessor of the Shehnai when the Mughals ruled India before the Britishers came. There was a very famous Mughal ruler named Aurangzeb. He did not allow the pungi to be played in his royal residence because he felt that it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Shrill, which means a very sharp sound, and unpleasant, something that you dislike. So I hope students you have a paper and pen with you and you're writing the meaning as and when we come across those words. So pungi became the generic name. Generic means a name that is given to a class or group as a whole. And generic name is like a broad classification of something. And reeded. Reeded means wind instruments which have reeds, like in case of flute, clarinet, etc. So any musical instrument which is made with reeds like flutes or clarinets, they are classified as pungi. So pungi is a broad term for any type of instrument which uses wind to produce sound. Now, only few thought, since Aurangzeb has banned all these reeded noisemakers, nobody thought that this pungi will become so famous. Okay, such instrument which made unpleasant sound would be ever played and liked by the audience. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. So here, as and when we go ahead, see, this pungi had a very unpleasant sound. Now there was a barber who belonged to a family of professional musicians, and he wanted to play the pungi, but he knew that the sound produced by pungi was very unpleasant. So he decided to improve the sound. And what he did? This barber took a pipe which was a hollow stem Now, what do you mean by hollow? Something which is empty from inside. It was longer and broader than the pungi. He made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. If you have seen a flute, it is something like this. It is a pipe which is hollow from inside and has holes on it. Okay, so similar to that, he made this 7 holes. And then what happened? When we play it, a melodious sound is produced. Let's read further. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a nai, that is a barber, the instrument was named the shehnai. So, what did the barber do? He blew air into the pipe and closed and opened different holes. So because of that, that soft and melodious sounds was produced. Okay, and everyone liked this. So when the barber played this instrument in the royal court, everyone liked the sound produced by it. Now the royal court thought that this instrument should be given a different name since it is different from the pungi. And so a different name was given. Now there is a story behind the name given to this instrument. Let me tell you. This instrument was played for the first time in the royal residence of the Shah. So Shah was a name given to king. The Mughals called the kings as Shah. As the Nai, that is the Indian term used for a barber, had played it for the first time, they called it Shehnai. So that means the first part of the name is Sheh, which stands for Shah, and the second part, Nai, that is a barber. So this instrument was named as Shehnai. Let us move ahead. This is how the Shehnai looks like. The sound of the shehnai began to be considered auspicious, and for this reason, it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. In the past, the shehnai was part of the naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. Now here, the sound of shehnai, it was considered to be very auspicious. Okay, auspicious, something that promises for good fortune. So the sound which was produced by shehnai was considered to be a good omen, and so it was played on good occasions. Now you can hear shehnai being played at many temples and weddings also. Uh, Here the shehnai was it was a part of the naubat. Now what is a naubat? It is an Urdu word. It means traditional ensemble. That means a traditional group of 9 musical instruments. Okay, and ensemble, it's here ensemble. That's how we pronounce it. It is considered as a group. So these 9 musical instruments were played at the royal court, and shehnai was also a part of naubat. Now, let us read ahead. So here, see, though it was used in temples and weddings, okay, though it became an indispensable, a very important part, something without which we cannot do our work, okay, which is required for every occasion. So so the shehnai became an indispensable part of North Indian wedding, and also since it was considered auspicious, it was used in temples as well. Now the credit for bringing shehnai onto the main stage, that is, the shehnai was played at the king's courts, in temples and at weddings. So it was used on stage in performances, and the credit for that solely goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan, who was a legendary shehnai player, and people wanted to hear him play the shehnai. So the credit mainly goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played gilli danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Biharji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. So when Bismillah Khan was 5 years old, he lived in an old estate named Dumrao, which is in the present day Bihar. He used to play gilli danda, a sport which is quite an ancient sport, and it is quite similar to cricket. So at that time, what he used to do, also he would go to the nearby Bihar Ji temple. Okay, although Bismillah Khan was a Muslim, he would go to the temple and he would sing this song, that is Chaita in Bhojpuri language. Now, Bhojpuri language is mainly the language which is spoken in an area of Bihar. So, when he would finish reciting the song, he would get a big laddu as a prize, and that would weigh. The weight of the laddu was 1.25 kg. Now, this was a prize given to Bismillah Khan by local Maharaja for singing the Chaita. So, let us read ahead. This happened. See, this is how they used to play gilli danda. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather, Rasool Baks Khan, was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpuri King's Court. His father, Paigambar Baks, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. So now here, let me tell you, the writer says that this incident that he is describing, okay, when he got a prize of 1.25, got a laddu weighing 1.25 kg. This took place around 80 years back, okay, when Bismillah Khan was just 5 years old, okay, that he got a laddu as a reward. And now after 80 years, Bismillah Khan earned the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. So we can imagine the distance that he has traveled in his life. Okay, at 5 years age, he would get a small a laddu as a reward, and at the age of and after 80 years, he achieved the highest civilian award in India. So Bismillah Khan has covered. He has done a lot of work, lot of hard work to achieve this in life. Now, Bismillah Khan was born on 21st March 1916 in a family of musicians in Bihar. Now, the lineage on his father's side was full of great Shehnai players. We can say that Bismillah Khan acquired the skill of playing the Shehnai from his ancestors. His grandfather was a great Shehnai player. He played the Shehnai in the court of the Bhojpuri king. Okay, and his father and all paternal ancestors. Now, paternal ancestors of the ancestors of his father, they were all great Shehnai players. Okay, so we can understand where this talent comes from. Now, something about his paternal side. Bismillah Khan, when Bismillah Khan was, his grandfather, Rasool Baks Khan, he was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's Court. Whereas his father, Paigambar Baks, and other paternal ancestors, they were also great Shehnai players. So obviously, he was always around these great Shehnai players. And that is one of the reasons that he got inspired to learn this, to learn how to play a Shehnai. The young boy took to music early in life, at the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, now Varanasi. Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Shehnai. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Baks to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Baks was employed to play the Shehnai. Ali Baks would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated. Captivated was attracted for hours on end. Slowly, he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. So, let me tell you here, when Bismillah Khan was just 3 years old, his mother took him to her parents' house, to his maternal uncle's house. And there, what did he see? Yeah, now his maternal uncles, they lived in Benares. And when Bismillah Khan, what did he see there? He saw his maternal uncles play the Shehnai and he was attracted towards it. And also, he also wanted to learn playing it. So Bismillah Khan started going with his uncle. And what is his uncle's name? His uncle's name? Ali Baks. So since he wanted to learn Shehnai, he started going with his uncle Ali Baks to the Vishnu temple in Benares. Ali Baks was on a duty. Okay, he was responsible for playing the Shehnai at the Vishnu temple of Benares. And when his uncle used to play the Shehnai, Ali Baks would, Bismillah would sit captivated. Okay, he was so attracted towards it that he would sit there for hours listening to him play the Shehnai. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maiya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts where he could practice in solitude. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. So when Bismillah Khan saw his uncle Ali Baks play the Shehnai so beautifully, he was attracted towards it. And gradually Bismillah Khan also started learning. He started learning to play the Shehnai and he would practice throughout the day. He never got tired. He was so captivated by the Shehnai. For many years, Ustad Bismillah Khan remained in Benares. He would visit the temple of Balaji, temple of Mangala Maiya, and would remain on the bank of river Ganga where he would practice playing the Shehnai all by himself. Okay, it means, here solitude means alone, playing it alone, he being alone or, without anyone around him. And haunt refers to a place where you like to visit many times a day. An apprentice, a trainee. So he became a young trainee. Okay, and his favorite haunts, the place which he used to frequently visit. Okay, that has been mentioned over here. That is on the banks of river Ganga. He would practice there alone. Now, let me tell you that here we come to know about the talent of Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was so inspired and motivated by the river Ganga that it provoked him to improve his performance. In fact, he invented ragas that were earlier considered impossible to be produced by a Shehnai. Okay, so Ustad Bismillah Khan really worked hard and invented these different sounds with the help of Shehnai. Now, let us read further. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Faiz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. When Bismillah Khan was just 14 years of age, he accompanied his maternal uncle, Ali Baks, to the Allahabad Music Conference. Now, there, during his performance, Ustad Faiz Khan was also a renowned classical vocalist. He was impressed by his performance and he appreciated and said that if he would work hard like that, he would definitely make a name in the field of music. So when the All India Radio started its radio station at Lucknow, Ustad Bismillah Khan started performing from there. Often his Shehnai performance would be on air. Okay, and he used to get a lot of appreciation for that. So students will stop here today and the remaining part of the lesson will continue in the next session. Thank you so much.